and then do this. Cool. Also love it. All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Chapter 1, Kathleen Turner. Chapter 2, Sybil Shepherd. Chapter 3, Suzanne Plachette. Chapter 4, The Girl in the Taco Commercial. Chapter 5, The Woman in 4B. Chapter 6, The Oriental Laker Girl. Chapter 7, Mr. Pinsky, this is not literature.
Well, you know, I would put in photographs, a brief character sketch, like a biography, and a nice dust jacket.
Mr. Pinsky, what is this?
It's literature. It's a fantasy.
It's whacking material.
Come on, move it, lard ass.
This is Film Sack. Oh, sure.
Hello, and welcome to Film Sack. This is Film Sack, the first one of 2024, officially anyway. I'm Scott Johnson, and I'm joined today by Brian. Only he is louder than Billy Crystal at a community college cafeteria, Dunaway.
Okay. Oh, hi. This week on Film Sack, we perhaps spend a little too much time with our loving mothers, and whoa, mama, be careful. Stranger with a no alibi could toss you from the train. No. Pitch you from the train. Hoist. Someone could hoist you from the train, mama. Words are hard. Now let's throw our attentions over to HBO Max for this crime comedy from 1987 that answers the question, does Owen have a friend? He does not, according to mama. Anywho, when I'm not desperately workshopping synonyms for words for my intros, I'm looking for the perfect casual sex partner with a kink. Last week, it was a lover who liked to bark like a dog while porking me on the couch. This week is the lady who likes to do it on kiddie trains until it attracts chip-eating looky-loos, and then we retreat to the bedroom where she reads The Little Engine That Could to get me in the mood. Choo-choo, and into the tunnel we go. Damn it, Danny DeVito! Who's directing this thing? You or Rob Meathead Reiner? Randy? Unsalted nuts make me choke, you clumsy poop. Oh, and don't burn the toast. Clumsy poop.
Clumsy poop.
Clumsy poop.
Oh my lord, that was one of your best. We started the year off hot. That was good. Love
yeah,
it.
we don't want to cool it down now.
No. Now is the time to lean in, not pull away.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of leaning in, let's go over to Randy. He can hang up his own shawl. Damn it, Jordan.
Aloha, Scott. Brian. I don't know what you think you're doing here, but I'm a failed writer, so that means I'm qualified to teach writing? I don't know. It's really a matter of being neurotic, I think. And I'm not just talking about your average everyday neurotic. No. I'm talking about that late 80s, early 90s, like George Costanza kind of neurotic. I'm talking like every character in the movie What About Bob? That kind of neurotic. You get going on a tear of complaints and concerns and loud questioning. It's great. And it makes you highly employable according to the movies and TV shows. But you didn't come here for that advice, did you? You came here to learn how to be a successful writer. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 easy rules. Number 1, just steal your spouse's writing and call it your own and get it published after your divorce is finalized. I'm sure that's real easy to get away with. Number 2, sit at a typewriter and freaking waste perfectly good sheets of paper for hours. Sure, you could write out your thoughts with a pencil first. Sure, you could, but don't. It won't work until you've crumpled up 400 perfectly good pieces of paper. Number 3, and please trust me, this always works. Every book that has ever been published was apparently just someone's life story. You have things happen to you, and then you write about them, and apparently, boom, you're a published author. And it's especially easy to make your very first book a pop-up moving pictures book. That is so easy that even the dumbest guy you know could do it.
Man, that sums it up nicely.
Very true.
Let's swing over to our final person here. It is Brian. He especially liked that girl from the taco commercial, Ibbot.
Oh, the girl from the taco commercial and the Oriental Lakers girl.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to try and do this as best I can with my voice the way it is. So let's rip into this one.
Man, that's pretty commendable for being sick to the man, you were so sick this past week. That's pretty good.
I want all karaoke to have that option. Right where it's like slowed down and tuned down.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I was like, oh my God, this version is actually in my register. We're doing this one.
Yeah. How many? So that's I don't know how octaves work, but how many octaves lower was that?
One octave lower.
Yeah, less than an octave. But it was, I don't know, what was 3.5, 4 notes down. It was
something like that. Yeah.
Well, it's quality content regardless. That's how I see it.
Yes.
Well, that was awesome. Well done, everybody. We're talking about the film Throw Mama from the Train, much talked about on our show for years and years and years. We just have never gotten around to it. The Danny DeVito directed comedy, farcical, uncomfortable movie. And I'm going to let Fake Fletcher do this. Now, here's the thing. We're going to give some credit where it's due. 3 of you wrote in this. This is before we've instituted our new plan with our patrons. So 3 people had sent in recorded versions of this week's intro to be our Fake Fletcher. I decided just to combine them all. So this is just a big Frankenstein version of this film. Here you go. Enjoy. Oh, and the names on this: Aaron Everall, Zachary Pointer, and Gary Sizer. These are your 3. That's who sent these in. Enjoy.
Throw Mama from the Train. It's a story about Larry Donner, a struggling author.
A bitter ex-husband wants his former spouse dead.
A put-upon mama's boy wants his mother dead. Who will pull it off?
There you go. Well done.
Wow.
Well done, fellas.
I like the LaFontaine esque version there for the third one.
Yeah. It was really good.
In a world where people write books.
That's right. Now, at the end of the show, I will tell you guys, patrons, how you can now start to do this. We've decided to lock this behind a door, mainly because it's easier to control. All these flowing in all the time. I don't know who to put in and when. And then I hate when people do work they can't get out there. So we got a plan. I'll explain later. But huge thanks to those 3. For providing that today.
Amazing.
Yeah. I had forgotten completely, entirely, that Danny DeVito directed and wrote this film. Well, co-wrote, helped write it.
Like every bit of it. I didn't remember one iota of this movie.
You don't remember?
Really?
Not Kim Geist. What's her name?
Anne Ramsey.
You don't remember the Anne Ramsey performance and her Oscar turn as Best Supporting Actress?
I absolutely remember her at the Oscars. I think she was wearing a hat. And like I remember the things about the movie. It was advertised and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like I'm sure I saw this when my parents rented it from the mom and pop rental store. But I just didn't remember anything. Not a bit.
I remembered all of it. I didn't even need to watch it this week. I've
Really?
watched this movie so many times. Oh my God.
Okay,
Anne Ramsey is like,
she's so good, dude.
She touches every funny bone in me, and it's still shocking.
This is why it blows my mind that, Scott, you've never seen Goonies, because it is the other fantastic Anne Ramsey performance.
Oh, see, I didn't even know she's in it. That's funny. Well, by the way, I had some guy call us out and go, "You guys film sacked the Goonies. Why do you guys talk like you've never seen the Goonies? You totally film sacked." I'm like, "No, we didn't, dude."
Yeah, find it, prove it.
Yeah, prove it. You can't.
A huge Goonies fan as well over here, by the way.
Yeah.
Love the Goonies.
Yeah, she's
there's such
amazing.
a mixed bag, man. I can't find a more divisive '80s film that is beloved by some and hated by others because they feel like it's bleak, and it's like, it takes place in this really sad town with this sad family that has to move, and these sad
If you didn't
kids
like that, you're not going to like Throw Mom from the Train, probably.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
or I can't help thinking of a lot of Billy Crystal movies because they all do kind of drill down to this thing that Billy Crystal has, where he's a small man, like he's a big-minded small person. I can't explain it. I have yet to figure out what the thing is, but like I think of him.
He's never done anything. He says it in the movie. He's never done anything, and that's his character role. He plays a lot.
But like his character in When Harry Met Sally is also this. It's exactly this, and I just can't explain how does it work? It doesn't make sense that it works.
Billy Crystal I think what you're getting to, and I agree with this. Billy Crystal plays Billy Crystal in just about everything. I think the most stretchy stuff he ever did was maybe the one with Gregory
Princess
Hines.
Bride.
Oh, Princess Bride. Yeah, good point.
That's very stretchy.
And I'm not saying this is a bad thing, because there's plenty of comedic actors, even other SNL alums like him, who just had a thing and then leaned into the thing. And personally, I think that works for him. I mean, if you're to believe the trivia, then this was almost Bill Murray. This was almost Dudley Moore. Who else?
These are all wrong.
I mean, they would have been wrong.
It's funny you refer to him as an SNL alumni. I mean, I know he was on SNL and had the whole, you look marvelous and all that sort of thing.
Yes, right.
But I remember him from Soap in the 70s.
Yes, me too.
When he was parody
gay.
of soap operas.
He
was gay, and for
the first
a long
gay
time,
character ever seen. Yeah,
exactly. And he was so good at that character that when I saw him in later things, I was surprised that he wasn't gay. Because he did so well as what's his face?
That's when I first realized there was acting. Oh, these people act.
Right, exactly. Wait a minute, this person is not Darth Vader. What?
Yeah, it's a real coming of age moment for all of us. I think. That's,
sure.
Soap portrayal, but like in his film career, if it's City Slickers, if it's really any number of things.
Forget Paris is another good example. Like he might as well be the same character in all of these.
Yeah.
These movies that are either Rob Reiner influenced or appearance or
I could have swore Rob Reiner directed this, especially when they had the weird, quirky dates. I'm like, oh, this has got to be a Rob Reiner. No, Danny DeVito. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny DeVito. I mean, I don't know if he was close with Rob Reiner, and that's why Reiner was even in this thing.
Yeah.
What was he? Was he his agent or something? What was his deal?
He was his agent.
Okay. Yeah. It's hard to figure out how a lot of these relationships are, but I'm guessing this is a time where Danny DeVito could call a lot of shots. They let him direct it, and I think this movie's great. I really like it, like it kind of a lot more, maybe even more now. I thought I liked it when it was new, and I think I felt like it was too mean back then. Like,
it is objectively very mean.
It's
like
mean.
The scene where he finally comes to Owen's house and they're sitting eating eggs, and Owen just hits him in the head with a cast iron skillet. It's just like, what?
You lied to me, bang.
Yeah, did they just kill the main character? Like, I was really
the most physical comedy too that you've ever seen Billy Crystal do, I think.
Oh, I think so. I think by far even.
I loved when they were like, you don't see us in the movies a lot, but when they're getting on the floor and they're looking at Danny DeVito's coins and stuff, and oh my gosh, there's something about it that just made me.
Well, yeah, it's there are moments of genuine heart in this movie that I was really not expecting, because I never remembered any of it. Yeah. And then there's also moments like where Danny DeVito's laying behind Kate Mulgrew's couch and she's getting it on with some guy, and you're just like, is this movie being serious right now, or are we just I don't know. It's just like it's such a wild ride.
It's a pretty weird thing, and I want to say that this fit well with other stuff DeVito was in, like War of the Roses, and to some degree that second
Romancing the Stone.
Yeah. I guess he's in both those, right?
That whole scene with him behind the couch while Kate Mulgrew is getting it on, like you say. It could have just been ripped right from Romancing the Stone. Felt like that kind of humor, whereas the rest of the film wasn't quite that. Didn't go that 80s lowbrow, but the rest of it, I think, was elevated. That whole thing was a little bit silly, though.
I haven't, but Kate Mulgrew did a great job of me. The character writing really did a great job of me making me want to hate her, because I don't think I've hated her that much since she killed Tuvix.
And the movie comes really, really close to making you hate the movie for it, right? Like you could easily conclude that she is just a really terrible one-note villain, and that's Billy Crystal's character's angle. He's trying to convince you, and I'm never really convinced. I'm like, I wonder if he's wrong here. And that's a good movie. Yeah. That's a good script.
Right. Yeah, they really don't confirm any time that she stole Larry's book.
Right. And that's
great. And the movie's credit.
Right. And we've seen Larry, the character, play the victim many times in this movie. Right. So it does make you question
Right, and when he goes to his agent, which is an awesome little scene. It's very navel gazy, for Hollywood folks to make that scene, but it's very funny. When he goes to his agent, and his agent is just like, you know what, I'm actually dropping you. I'm like, oh, Larry might be completely wrong,
Right.
Yeah. He might be very
is
bad.
Danny DeVito the bad guy, or is it Billy Crystal? Is it Owen?
Yeah. And that last, I have to admit, like in the end, when he comes and sees him and says, they kind of have this reunion of sorts, and Billy Crystal's almost done with his new script and finds out that the Danny DeVito's been working on the same thing. He was so pissed and got all violent and everything. But that twist of it was a children's pop-up book still kind of got me in that I didn't. It's not that I didn't see it coming. I think I did, but it was this. It was just a really good. It's a great little twist. It's a great way to do it.
And they play it like a callback to the scene with the Nichols. And I actually was wondering. I didn't go check this, but I'll bet you it uses the same music or like variation of the same music, because it's such a beautiful little bookend. And like what this movie doesn't deserve this. Like it's never, it's constantly punching way above its weight class.
Yeah, it's a hard one to explain, because I don't think there's any one part of it where I would go, oh, this established a certain thing. Outside of Anne Ramsey's performance, which I do think is pretty insanely cool.
It is. Especially when you see interviews with her around this time.
Yeah.
She's chatting with whoever, Rona Barrett or something. I found some YouTube video, and she is just delightful and sweet. And she apparently, her natural nature is the kind of woman who takes cookies to church on Sunday and bakes a cake for someone who just moves into the neighborhood and that sort of thing. And so she's like, I don't want my family to see this movie because I don't want them to know that I'm even capable of being this evil and this wrong.
Anne Ramsey has brought me more joy than just about anyone I can imagine acting. I always praise people like P.B. Herman. Just makes me die laughing. Oh my God, Anne Ramsey.
It's the saddest part of the whole thing is that the thing we probably all love most about Anne Ramsey is her speech, the way she delivers her lines.
Which killed her.
Which was the thing that ultimately killed her, esophageal cancer. Which is unfortunate, but it's her one of her most endearing qualities is that voice and that ability to use that voice to just dig into your
screams, man. She just screams it, and you just never. You feel like you know what she's gonna say. I know what she's about to say. No, I didn't.
No, she says stuff.
Black bastard. What?
Right. Yeah. I'd like to give her credit for the most clips for today. Like there was no way around this. I kind of knew it going in, but as the movie went on, I went, "Oh, you're going to dominate the sound files."
Yeah, she's only on screen for 10 minutes. I bet we're going to hear about 9.5 minutes of clips.
Yeah, that's the other thing is she feels so much more dominant than 10 minutes. Right? Yeah. 10 minutes is nothing, but she feels like
10 minutes is nothing.
Makes everybody look better. Here's just for fun. You mentioned her old interview audio. I'm going to see if we can play a little. So you guys can hear
good.
This. So here you go.
Hold on. If you're going to play, pause for a second.
Okay. What is this? This lady.
And I have laughed so much as I did.
Let me skip.
Glad you didn't start that from the beginning, because there's 30 seconds of a loud, shrill beep at the beginning of that video. I was about to try.
Thank you for the warning. Yeah, there it is. I skipped it. It had a rainbow
test pattern.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Interesting. So funny. I mean, can you always be funny when you want to be? In real
I don't
life.
know when I'm funny.
You don't?
No. I really don't. And my husband said that. He said, "If you don't know, I won't tell you."
Oh,
she almost sounds like she's got a British accent at times.
Yeah, a little bit.
If you don't know, I won't tell you.
I love it.
She's great. Anyway, so we mentioned Danny DeVito and whatnot, and we mentioned a few of the actors, but there are people in this thing that were just like traipsing through it that I was like, there's a Seinfeld actor, there's a Seinfeld actor, there's another guy on Seinfeld, there's a lady on Seinfeld. That half that class was on Seinfeld. Like this was definitely an era where those people were coming up and about to hit the TV circuits, and I don't know, I couldn't avoid it.
I think Kate Mulgrew was even on Seinfeld at one point, wasn't she?
She was definitely on Cheers, but I can't remember.
Oh, maybe it was Cheers. Yeah.
Definitely Cheers episode.
She was a love interest for George or Jerry at some point. Maybe not.
Almost everybody was, so you would not be incorrect by assuming it. She probably was, and I'm not remembering it. But we've had Name an actress. I feel like you can almost name an actress, and I can go, yeah, there's a Seinfeld episode where she's on it.
Yeah.
Wendy Malick.
Yeah, totally on there. And a
with
gun.
the exception of Kim Graced, who, what a strange little career Kim Graced had. She like pops into a few of these big movies where she has meaningful roles, and then she just kind of vanishes. She never really has a career, like a long.
We almost after the X-Files, she practically disappeared. What happened?
Yeah, weird.
No, she's still alive, allegedly.
Yeah.
Still alive.
She started out in Chud, which we've got to cover here.
I thought we did Chud.
Yeah, we absolutely have to.
We're not done Chud.
We haven't done Chud.
Have we not done Chud? Now that you
There's
say
no
it.
Chud.
We've
There's no
mentioned
Chud.
Chud so many times.
FilmSack 188.
We did Chud.
Yeah, we did Chud.
Wow.
We totally did Chud.
Good Chud. No, what number was it?
188.
It was just 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's all.
I'm updating.
There
I'm
you go.
updating my list. I was saying anything under 100, except for Carl. I'm not going to remember. Now I'm going to say anything under 200. I'm not going to remember.
Yeah, every time we get a decade away from something, we are automatically going to forget about it.
Easy to forget.
But yeah, she was in very little thing, or very, very small roles right up until Judging Amy, and then 2001, and she was out. So Randy, you're right.
She retired.
Was she? So it shows she was in Manhunter. Was that? Am I misremembering, or was that one of the? Was that a TV show?
No, that was a movie, but it was.
Isn't
it's
not one of the Hannibal, like the first Hannibal Lecter thing, right?
It's the first.
Before,
yes.
It's the Michael Mann Manhunter, and
Right.
it's on our watch list. We will sack Manhunter if we get.
We have to, right? William Peterson, Dennis Farina,
Mm-hmm.
Brian Cox, perennial film sack favorite Tom Noonan.
Yeah, we love him. Stephen Lang, I love Stephen Lang. Oh man.
Yeah.
And Dennis Farina, you said. Brian Cox is Hannibal, right? I think he plays Hannibal. Yeah, he's Dr. Lecter. Brian Cox is Dr. Lecter.
Okay, there it is right there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That movie's actually really good. It's weird because we only think of Hannibal from Silence of the Lambs forward, but it's actually really good. I look forward to it.
I've been
It's gonna be weird
circling.
watching Gus Grissom or whatever his name is. Again, I always want to confuse him with the freaking astronaut.
That was it, right? Gus
Grissom from CSI.
Gus Grissom.
Was it Gus? I didn't think it was Gus.
Shit. I think you're right. Hold on. He played. Boy, he's doing a lot of producing now. I don't care about all that. Where's your actor stuff? Okay, CSI. Gil Grissom. Gil. Oh, Gil, you did it again, old Gil. Anyway.
But watching Gil Grissom go after Hannibal Lecter is going to be really fun when we finally get around to watching that.
Yeah,
and I've been circling the Michael Mann movie Black Hat. We will probably sack that soon because it's got Holt McCallany and Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, I like him. I like me some Holt McCallany.
I know you do.
Yeah, the rumor that they're bringing Mindhunter back makes me think I'll get some closure there with him.
Oh, really? God, it sure would be nice.
Yeah, there's talk. In fact, he was the one rumoring about it because he's in that Iron Claw thing that just came out, the Wrestler Brothers thing.
Oh yeah,
plays the dad. Apparently, he's good enough that there's talk of supporting actor buzz for Holt McCallany.
Oh,
which I would be. That would be amazing.
Oh, really? Now,
but he let slip in some interview that he. Oh my gosh, the series of interviews. So I heard that one where he says, "Yeah, we think it's coming back." Fincher's talking about it. And then right after that, I get this interview. I see this clip of Thanos. What's his name? Josh Brolin.
Brolin, yeah.
Telling the interviewer that he got no money for No Country for Old Men, like barely anything, and he was broke. And the movie gets made and done, and he's just like completely broke. And then there was one other thing he was working on that nobody saw. I can't remember. And because of some law that flipped where you had to pay actors some kind of money after the release of a thing, I can't remember what the deal was, but he suddenly got $60,000 in the mail as a payout or something, and it saved him. He said, "I'd be dead. I would be dead today without it." And it was right before then that everything kicked off for him. But I cannot believe this idea that you are in one of the most lauded films of all time, from two of the greatest directors of all time, the Coen brothers. In a movie where I think he was nominated for Best Supporting, I think. I can't remember.
I can't remember.
But I know, Anton Chigurh character definitely was and won.
Yeah.
And it got Best Picture, Best Director, and all that other shit. And you were broke? What happened? What's going on?
I'll tell you what happened. they're not going to pay you any money if they can help it. And you have to be very smart, and you have to have someone who is going to watch out for your financial interests, because all of these types of people who are distributing this stuff, they're going to keep all the money unless you say, give me the money.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's always, well, I mean, I assume it's always, let's give you some money on the back end, right? If this goes if this becomes really big, then you'll get it, which again, should have been the case for No Country for Old Men, but
right.
You think he had to go to his?
They're all like Rob Reiner in Throw Mama from the Train.
That's true. Do you think he? Do you think he? I like how you tried to bring that back, but I got to ask one question. Thanks. Do you think he ever went to James Brolin and said, "Dad, can I borrow a couple $100?" You know,
probably. Yeah.
His dad's like, "Get out of here! I was on Love Boat 50 times. Get out of here."
That's right, exactly. I was on Barbra Streisand 50 times.
I was thinking about Love Boat and Brian Ibbott this past week while Ibbott was sick. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, that Streisand thing is about to kill me. Oh my gosh, I was on Barbra Streisand about 50 times. Oh my gosh. All right. That was really good. So back to the movie. This is the rumor. Let's have a little scrutiny for this, though. This is scrutinized.
Holy cow. Wait, before we get to scrutiny, hold on a second.
Go.
So he was with Barbra Streisand. He's still married, as a matter of fact, James Brolin. Before that, he was married to Bailey Quarters from WKRP.
Whoa.
I mean, everybody's favorite girl next door.
I loved her. She was
Jan
great.
Smithers from WKRP. How crazy is that?
Yeah, this
Never
is,
pictured the
to
two
me
of those.
growing up. There were two kind of people in the world. You either thought she was the cute one, or you were into Lonnie Anderson. And the Lonnie Anderson kids, I never trusted. Never trust those kids.
Right.
Something about it.
Herb.
Yeah, and it's nothing against her. She's a beautiful woman. Whatever, her hair was crazy, but whatever. But it was the other girl.
Did she make it?
Huh?
Did she ever make it back to return to WKRP?
Who?
No, when
Lonnie?
they did the '90s remake of WKRP. No,
I don't remember that. There was a remake.
Frank Bonner, I think.
There was a revival.
There was a revival. It was a new, and it was. Oh my God, who was the guy? The main DJ. The main DJ is the British actor who was married to the woman who made plaster casts of all the
the new WKRP in Cincinnati is what it was called. I always call it The Return. Gordon Jump came back
as
Herb
Mr.
was there at least
as
Frank
Mr. Carlson.
Bonner,
He was Mr.
Richard
Carlson.
Anderson, Les Nessman.
Okay, so as their
Les Nessman
characters,
came back too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
their characters.
Was it good?
Nope.
Let's see. How many seasons did it make? 40 episodes, 2 seasons. So it was good enough.
I'd be curious just to see it once, you know.
Yeah, I wonder if any of it's streaming.
I don't know.
Tommy Katane was in there.
I have good news about streaming. I'll save it for the end of the show, since we have a movie to talk about. But
while we're crawling through the cast here, I just have to make sure that we note that Billy Crystal spends the middle half of this movie being pursued by Bruno Kirby's dad.
Whoa, really?
I just think that's really cool.
Bruno Kirby's dad, and then they would be in Scrap City. What's it called?
Both
City
before
Slickers.
and after this movie, Billy Crystal and Bruno Kirby are in multiple movies together.
Yeah, they were always hanging out. Those two. That Bruno Kirby story. His cancer sucked, man. That was a bad one.
I'm not a fan.
All right,
Not
here
a
was
fan of the
here was my
cancer.
here was my scrutiny. Anne Ramsey, or sorry, not that one. There it is. Bill Murray considered for the role of Larry Donner. Fine. Robin Williams for the role of Owen. I don't know if I believe it. Maybe.
Owen, hold on. For the role of Owen.
For the role of
no.
Owen, yeah.
I mean, he could do it. He could act kind of childlike and whatever.
Yeah,
but
he would have been too lovable. Like Owen really has to annoy the audience to annoy Larry as well.
Right, and Owen needs to do less talking, and so you don't want somebody who's known for being a big talker.
Right, and the kind of physicality you need for the character is a DeVito physicality. It's a different kind of thing. Robin Williams, known for his amazing physicality. Don't get me wrong, that dude can rock any kind of physical need for your acting. But I needed this character to be short, fat.
You need to be Danny DeVito.
But lovable. I needed Danny DeVito. That's who I needed.
Right.
That's
Someone who can make faces at the camera. So like Steve Martin could have done it, but he wouldn't have been the right, size for it.
Right. Like I say all this.
Steve Martin, though, in his Ruprecht character from What's the
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels?
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Ruprecht, a whole movie where he's Ruprecht basically could be the Owen for this movie.
Right, yeah. John Lithgow could have done it. He makes great faces, right?
Yeah,
taller than everybody else in the film.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
true.
You need somebody who Mama can dominate, and there aren't that many people that are 4'8".
He also carries with him. Danny DeVito carries with him a certain empathy. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, he's got those sad puppy dog eyes. He's really good at that.
He's very, very good at it. I
Danny DeVito, and it's funny. This is our second Danny DeVito movie in less than a month, right? And it's all. By the way, it's our second movie in a row on Film Sack that has an old sob. But I just can't get over how Danny DeVito can access his inner child on camera. It's like something that it's really magical. And Robin Williams did this a lot, but his was like accessing an inner child that's high on cocaine, right? Whereas Danny DeVito accesses this standardized inner child right in front of the camera, all for you to laugh at. You know?
He's very good at it. Not only that, he's the one yelling action and cut. So he's in charge of it and he's doing it. Like I think this is really underrated work by him. And I don't know if I appreciated it at the time. At the time, I wasn't thinking of movies so critically like I am now. And I appreciate it so much more now. I just feel like there's real craft happening here. And it's not cheap laughs. Like some of it, you might think, like the pan to the head, that's a cheap physical laugh. But dude, it freaking worked. It's so good.
Yeah.
Like when he got hit in the nuts.
He did out of desperation, not out of anything else. He didn't do it out of anger or malice.
He's a way to get out of it.
Yeah. Like that part of it plays so well that the hitting of the face isn't even the point. It's the way that he did the acting. The other parts I think deserve some scrutiny are these potential actors who almost played Owen Lift. What a name, Lift. Yeah. Joe Pesci, maybe. Maybe.
I think somebody put him on the list because he's short.
Could be. John Candy's on here, though.
On that one.
I don't know if this John Candy one is correct, but he's on here. And that seems wrong because he's too big. He's too tall.
Yeah.
I think Cliff would be perfect. He already had mom problems.
Chris Farley could have maybe done a good Owen.
Right.
Wait.
Very needy. Could play a very needy character. Could play a very, dominable.
Dominable.
Yeah.
Abominable? No, that's wrong.
Abominable.
How about you were saying John Ratzenberger that way?
John Ratzenberger would be great.
I mean, it's a very different characterization though, right?
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't be good at being childlike, but he would be good at being
He'd be
submissive.
believable that he could kill Billy Crystal's wife though.
Yeah, that's true. I could buy that.
Like there was a potential for Cheers to go a completely different way, and us to think that, I think Cliff Clavin might be a serial killer.
I wonder how many of our listeners got your Tuvix reference. Hopefully, a bunch did.
We sacked Tuvix.
Yeah, we did. We did a live watch along thing.
Can't believe she killed him like that.
I know. No, it's I still think it's one of the biggest controversies in Trek history. Even though
absolutely, and I still don't know how I feel about it. Even to this day, I still don't know how I feel about it.
Well, that was the point. It was an impossible choice, right? And that's Star Trek does that really well, but this one really stuck. This one burned.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm watching her, I'm thinking, here's every time I see Kate Mulgrew now, I think of the Tuvix episode. I think of her as that Russian
Red
inmate,
Red is the New Black. Yeah.
She's so good in that role. My gosh, she's good. Yeah. That it makes me just go, why is she not just a bigger aspect of our entertainment life? Mm-hmm. She's amazing. She really is.
She is.
And I understand there were people who did not want a woman captain because they're a-holes, but B, they didn't like her because they thought she was just a little too, the Klingons have asked, she's kind of got this air about her. But I think it works.
Yeah.
I think it works.
Fine.
Yeah. I love it.
That's what Picard was. I mean, he was
Janeway's depiction of the crushing weight of all of the souls on board this lost ship is it's very psychological and it's before its time.
I agree.
Nowadays, this depiction is constant in everything on TV.
I think you're right, but she also managed to be optimistic. Voyager deserves more credit. There are problems with it. It's definitely got some issues that are kind of throughout the series, whatever. But it deserves more credit than it gets for for pushing some of that stuff. She was great in that. Mm-hmm. But anyway, she's in this kind of not hardly at all. It's only just to be a villain, a secondary villain, and it's fine.
So good. You just want to hate her.
So she fell in and he didn't push her, right? Do I understand that right?
Correct.
At the end?
We don't
For
know,
sure.
but
No, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. He never said it.
He doesn't say.
Billy Crystal, she said that she suddenly found herself overboard because I kept listening for like an absolute fact. She doesn't remember what happened.
No,
and Billy Crystal doesn't know. He just assumes, and
Right,
Dan
and
DeVito never says.
And we also never have any evidence that Owen didn't kill Mama. He just says he didn't. Like, in the end, this movie is full of stuff like that, and that's a trope. It has to be this way because the basic trope is called the karma Houdini, and so karma Houdini is this thing that keeps getting out of its own karma, right? So like
Radiohead.
Kate Mulgrew's character, right? Like she has all the negative karma in the world to the point where she falls off a boat and dies. But no, she didn't die.
Nope.
Right?
Matter of fact, she bounced back even bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's all much more funny if you don't know, if you have no idea actually whether or not Danny DeVito's murdered multiple people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he has that thing about him where, well, that's the point, is you're doing Hitchcock shit.
Believability.
The whole thing felt like a Hitchcock homage to me.
Well, yeah, it was based on it, of course.
Yeah.
It was based on the movie he went and saw.
From a train.
Strangers
on a train.
That crazy like zoom in camera on his face while he's thinking about putting rat poison in the thing or the lye, whatever it was, and the way the music was used. This was one of my favorite film sacks in a while for score, and I think it's because it didn't make it feel like an '80s movie. This felt like something that could. I don't know. You could have orchestrated this anytime.
Just imagine if this had been scored like Family Ties.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it would have been a terrible watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it was who did it? It was I wrote David Newman did it. Yeah. Right.
Oh, it was a Newman.
Yeah. It was David Newman.
Yeah. But it was great. It was very Hitchcock-esque. It was very intense when it needed to be, and to accentuate both humor and drama. And there were a couple of moments where I was like, "Oh, this is sticky. This is hard. What you're doing? You're dealing with some shit here. You basically planted a bunch of evidence, and your girlfriend helped to make it sound like you did this murder." And I kept thinking, "This would suck. This would suck ass. I don't care how bad of an author is or what writing slump you're in. This is way worse than that." And now you're on a train fleeing the country for Mexico. I don't know how that works, but whatever. That's fine. Where does that train take you? It doesn't go.
You had to get on the train somehow.
Guadalajara or something.
Yeah, that definitely felt like they had to work that in. It's like, we got a title. We got to work in the train.
Right.
Yeah. And for the record, here's another thing. Her suggestion that sultry was a better replacement than humid is not, it's not good. It's bad. They acted like, oh, she somehow came up with a better one just sitting here. Horseshit. That's terrible.
Sultry is leagues above humid and moist. So I mean, yeah, they really laid it
low bar though.
Low bar.
The beginning to end joke of the movie is that he's always dancing around what's a bad idea in the first place. He's only trying to polish a turd,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The entire freaking movie. And it's funny, it works.
Yeah, it really works. And imagine the surprise on all our 80s kids' faces to find out this thing kind of holds up. I don't know. I feel like we're starting the year with a movie I wasn't sure was going to hold up, and man,
I thought this was even going to be a tough film sec because the comedy rule here.
Yeah,
but this is such a dark comedy that really works well for film sec.
Yeah, is this farce or let's define farce for a second. I saw Game Night finally, and by the way, Game Night went from I didn't even think about it to I finally watched it, and it shot up to like my top 10 comedies. I loved Game Night. And the reason I love Game Night, it's such a deft handling of what is otherwise just straight farce, right? Is this movie farce? Is Throw Mama from the Train?
Yes.
What is its genre? Is that it?
I mean, that is a description of it. I don't think that's a genre.
Yeah, I think I think
movies.
dark comedy is
where I would put it.
Okay.
If I was in the blockbuster section.
So give me an example. War of the Roses, dark comedy. What else? What's a modern example?
Let's see. What have we seen recently that's a dark comedy?
I mean, I'd even say Game Night is a dark comedy. It's
you know what?
Got people dying, getting
Yeah, I guess it's got farcical stuff in it, but it's being handled so well that it didn't feel farcical to me. So I guess all comedy has farce. So forget about farce. F that word. We're not using it anymore.
We'll make
necessarily. It doesn't.
We're gonna have
necessarily
some
have to be
silent farce.
Easy.
Yeah, silent farce. No one admit to the farce I just heard.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the darkest comedy we've seen in a long time was Banshees of Inisherin.
Oh yeah,
that movie was so.
That was
it was so dark.
That was pretty dark. I watched his other thing that I hadn't seen. That McDonough guy. I watched Seven Psychopaths.
Neil McDonough?
Not Neil McDonough. The director of Inisherin. I can't think of his first name.
McDonough?
Not Neil.
No,
Neil's the actor.
What's his name?
It's Martin McDonough.
Martin McDonough.
I believe that's right. He looks like Stifler if you look at his IMDb photo. It's weird. Anyway, that guy made before Three Billboards and before Inisherin and after In Bruges, he did Seven Psychopaths, and that movie is freaking great.
Mm-hmm.
I was blown away by how good I thought that was. Take a little Tarantino, take a little weird, quirky ensemble humor from the McDonough movies, make a little mobster out of everybody. Woody Harrelson, one of my favorite roles I've ever seen. You guys got to see Seven Psychopaths. I don't think it's a film sack movie though. I think it's just a good movie.
It's kind of in those same lines as the Guy Ritchie stuff.
Like 12 or
Snatch and
Two Stock and Smoking Barrels and all that.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I would say it's close. I mean, it's
good,
obviously
good on that level. Obviously, a different thing, but it's good on that level.
Yeah.
My opinion, farce requires like some horseplay. It requires physical like debasement. And so the Coen brothers, right, masters of the dark comedy, have approached farce a couple of times with like Burn After Reading and Raising Arizona, right?
Yeah.
And so like they get some farce in there, but they overall they're making dark comedies.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They almost have a slider, right? So let's imagine a slider that's like, I don't know, it's 100. It's got 100 ticks, and in the middle is 0. And on one side is comedy, the other side is dark
tragedy.
And they just go, the Coen brothers go, all right, let's just slide this one way over here for this one. So here's Miller's Crossing. Very little comedy, mostly, this dangerous mess. Okay, well that's cool. Now way over here, I do like, Raising Arizona, which is mostly comedy. But you know what I mean?
There's some tragedy to it. They're picking and choosing from the gradient.
Yeah, it's very. But that's my point. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole. I've never thought of them that way, but I'm going to from now on. That's how it's going to work.
Dude, there's some scenes in Raising Arizona where I'm just like, am I supposed to cry now? This feels really sad and contemplative.
You should be. Yeah.
Yeah, there are definitely moments like that. I'm a little sad though. Those two are doing some cool projects alone, but they haven't worked together since.
The Ballad of
Buster Scruggs,
Buster Scruggs,
yeah, and the new one.
I need to give that another rewatch. I loved it at the time. I need to watch it again.
Yeah, I saw it again recently. It was very good. It's always good, but they haven't done anything together since, and I don't know if there's been a problem. And they've done good work. It's like the new one from Ethan looks really good. I don't know when that's coming out this year sometime. And then the Joel one, the Shakespeare one with Denzel Washington, and and his wife, what's her name? That was really good.
Frances McDormand.
Yeah. So they keep doing these.
Othello? Was it Othello? No, what was it?
Othello.
Oh, it was Hamlet.
No.
It was Hamlet. Oh, no, it was Macbeth.
Macbeth. The Tragedy of Macbeth. That's it.
The Tragedy of Macbeth with Dinklage
But I hope it doesn't mean those two aren't ever doing anything together again. Those are the brothers you want to see stay brothers. You don't want to have kind of a split. So get it back together. Get some shit going.
Right.
All right, let's see what else. What I wrote down here. Janeway getting roughed on. That's hard business. Oh yeah, the rough.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like that. Don't do that.
It was funny.
No, it was lowbrow.
Pretty lowbrow.
It was the silliest thing in a movie that didn't have to go that silly.
Yeah, that kind of rubbed me wrong. Well, it just didn't fit.
Right.
Because the rest of the movie I thought handled stuff in a less not immature way. I mean, I like a fart joke as much as the next guy, but having a guy bark on you for a whole phone call, all that stuff just felt like it was ripped from, I don't know, a shitty, what was the...
Hillbillies or Hee-Haw?
No.
Yeah, no, it's
Benny
British.
Hill.
You're talking about Benny Hill. I was about to say, shoot, what was it? Deliverance.
I did kind of do
Y'all
it. It's
give
like
me crap.
It's like I did the cover of the British intro for Benny Hill. I did it. I did it in a Motown or a Hotown way. Hotown? That's not a word.
Hotown.
Hotown.
All right, you guys.
I could have did with less of his teaching job and dealing with the students. That was okay, I suppose, but I didn't. I don't know.
I only cared about the pervert
felt
guy.
short.
That's the pervert guy in his weird book of every chapter is a weird lady. That's the only
best
part.
part of it is the pervert guy.
I know it was needed for the character for us to empathize with, how far he's fallen, and writers write, they don't teach. That's an old, trope. It's like, well, if you can't write, then you teach.
Yeah.
Right.
So I got where they were going. I just didn't. It always just seems a little too zany or too. I don't know.
It was a little.
It's a good way to have
wacky.
some ensemble. Like it's a good way to have a bunch of characters that just are one joke characters, but which I like.
You do
I'll
run
take
the
that
risk
over the barking gardener.
Oh yeah, I would
that
way
was
more.
So stupid. I didn't understand because that's what I was like. Oh, so all of the casual relationships, the way you build characters is have them have a quirky sex kink or something. They did it a couple of times, and I was like, okay.
Well, I mean, the women. It's really kind of it's an 80s woman in a comedy thing, right?
Yeah, that felt familiar. Maybe that's why I didn't like it, because it just felt like, I've seen this 1,000 times. This little moment.
I was so entertained. By the way, you talk about cheap jokes. This is like the cheapest joke in the movie for me was Danny DeVito in Hawaii making phone calls from payphones.
Yeah, that was really funny, dude.
Ready?
Right. They refused
a completely different, usually different skyline and everything.
They refused to point at it, but they were just running through it.
Yeah.
I'm not certain, because what the weirdest thing about this, I was laser focused on figuring out where he was.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing about it was he was clearly on the island of Kauai, and there weren't people. Like every beach he was on, there weren't other people, and I was like,
aloha, hello.
Like, how amazing that 35 years ago you could, they probably filmed it on the North Shore of Kauai because that they could get away from all the people.
Mm-hmm.
I think his characterization of this low key characterization of someone who just returned from someplace, they feel like they have to inject that culture into everything they do, and he keeps going aloha, hello, and he just keeps keeps pushing through. And I thought that was brilliant.
I thought there's something about maybe it was the edit or something, but there's something really funny about that whole sequence that wasn't even. It's not really that funny, but without who's doing it and the timing, I don't know. You know how stuff is. Timing's everything, and they were kind of killing it with that.
Good.
And then to top it all off. Not to top it all off, to start it all, this whole Hawaii sequence, we have Kate Mulgrew get on a boat to Maui, which, okay, fine. But it's the most crowded boat. I'm surprised the boat didn't sink from the weight of all the people on the boat.
Yeah.
Definitely a tour boat. So I guess you're just going to Maui for like a couple hours and then back to Honolulu.
I want to know if anybody who's a hula dancer has ever been performing in a crowd of 100 people in a small space.
Oh my gosh,
this is bizarre.
That sounds like a nightmare to me. What you just described.
God.
Yeah, I don't want that. Here's the grab a bucket award.
Grab a bucket.
I'm giving chicken the bucket to the entire class. So Dunaway, you already mentioned them. You wanted to have less of them. I wanted more, but the bottom line was when you're going to have a big ensemble at the top of your movie and you're only going to reference the pervert later, that's a lot of chicks in the bucket.
Yeah, and they reference the pervert in the final scene with the magazine flyover. They're like, oh, there he is. He's in the he did it. He did the table.
Yeah,
table
People
book.
magazine or whatever it was.
He made his book. Yeah, he got his book done. You got to admire a pervert who can get his book done.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I think the photos and the small bio for each actress helped.
Yeah, that never hurts.
So I guess it's like a running joke that I guess authors really hate people who make coffee table books. Because it always seems like to be the butt of the joke. It's like that's like the lowest common denominator who'd make a
which has always been kind of hilarious to me because I think they're some of the coolest books I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I love them.
It's fun.
Yeah,
they are. Yeah, but they're usually not. They're not dense books in content. They're usually beautiful photo books or 50 movies you need to see with movie posters and a little tiny thing written about each one. But they're not books that you're going to say, oh, you know what I need to do is read that Flying Over Hawaii book again.
Yeah. You don't want anybody to read this book. You're going to put it on the coffee
table. You want
table.
them to pick it up while they're waiting for you to finish making their latte.
Yeah. There you go. That's a good way of saying it. Any guesses on this?
Gross.
What grossed me out?
Oh.
Because one very, very specific moment grossed me out.
Well, is it cleaning Mama's ears?
No.
Oh.
No. It's a gross idea, but it didn't gross me out because they didn't get real,
It's not
graphic.
the close-up on Anne Ramsey's mustache as she's about to sip ret poison Pepsi.
Hold on just a moment. Let me check with the judges. Is that correct? That is correct. That is what grossed me up. That mustache was
mustache.
Wow, that thing, dude.
It was pretty impressive.
It was very. I assume it's her real growth. I don't know.
You know, makeup artist puts a little dust on it so you can really see it.
Stands out the hairs.
That was something, man.
That is a junior in high school level mustache right there.
And while we're on the subject of what grossed Scott out, I can tell you right now, without any doubt, we will never on this show watch the movie Saltburn. And the reason we won't do it is there are like 5 very specific moments in that movie that grossed me out so bad.
Oh, wow.
That I'll never see that movie again. I can never watch that movie again.
5. Okay, I've heard about 2.
It's going to be very interesting to see if it gets nominated for a bunch of Oscars because the discourse right now is about people not getting it, and I'm people who don't get a movie do not want to be told that you didn't get it, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, it's just gonna.
That's weird that they're saying that because that movie is easy to get. It's not like the subtext is pretty obvious.
So you're saying there's no reason for me to work on my my opening song parody of No Doubt's Bathwater?
No, but
I can put that away.
Dang it, dude! That would have to be the one you used because that's the one. I mean, that's one of the ones. There are 3 moments I will call Bathwater, Vampire, and Ground Lover.
Oh yes, okay. I did hear about that scene too.
Everything about that movie left me a little shook. But I'll tell you what, I can tell I'm watching a really well-made and acted piece of it's a good movie. Like I feel like it is Oscar bait, but it's also one of the most disgusting movies I've ever seen in my life.
So we're actually recording right now on the morning of the Golden Globes. The Golden Globes starts in about 8 hours, and Saltburn got.
I thought it was the Emmys today. No.
Nope.
No, it's Golden Globes tonight.
Why did the Emmys have a thing last night?
We're going to P.F. Chang's.
Oh, fun.
Well, because we missed an Emmys, and so they're doing this weird spread out thing.
Oh, I'm so confused by it. Okay. Anyway, so tonight's Golden Globes. That's happening.
Right. Tonight's Golden Globes, and Saltburn got 2 nominations. It's not going to win either one of those. But it was for acting. It's Barry Keoghan and Rosamund Pike both got nominations for acting.
And if there's ever been any question of whether Barry Keoghan, however you say his name, should be the next Joker, which he is at the end of the Batman, put those worries to rest. He is an absolute psychopath and will be perfect as the Joker. And I look forward to it where he will have nothing to do with bathwater at that point. Anyway, sorry, Randy. Continue your thought.
I just want to remind you that the host of the Golden Globes is going to be Joe Coy. I am very excited about that because the whole point of the Golden Globes for years and years and years has been for people to get on stage and just rail on the producers of the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
And like he is perfect for this.
Yeah, but when Ricky Gervais did it, man, boy, he got a lot of hate for that, which is...
That's just
too
Ricky,
far.
though.
I don't know what he did.
I don't know what he did
I say
either.
go as far as you can. So, Scott, you apparently haven't seen Triangle of Sadness yet.
No, and so that was going to be my question to you because since I hadn't seen that, but I've been told to compare it. I've been told that if this,
I think the grossness in Triangle of Sadness is done so well, it's hilarious and not cringy, not like, oh, I can't look at the screen. Tell me when it's over kind of thing.
Okay, interesting. Because this one is definitely.
Yeah, let me know when this scene's over. I'm closing my eyes.
The cringe is so hardcore. Like, I'm not even telling people don't see it, because I do think there's a quality piece of art been made here that will either you'll like it, probably like it for all of its artistic sensibilities.
I was going to say, that's the question. If it didn't have those three things, vampire, grave, and bathwater, would we talk about this film at all? Would it be something you'd recommend without those three scenes?
Maybe, because the performances are strong. I guess I would compare this. This is weird. I'm going to compare it to something I haven't seen. That's not going to make sense until I say it. But the Mr. Ripley movie,
Talented Mr. Ripley.
Yeah, where you've got somebody's motives that are kind of psycho, but you don't really know who at first.
Obsessed with somebody else.
Yeah, that whole thing. That's basically this storyline told in a different place with different people. Plus, of what I know of it, but then add in all these like shocking moments. Would it get the talk it's getting? No, there's no way. Like people can pretend otherwise, but there's no way this movie is even talked about at the volume we're hearing it if it didn't have this stuff in it.
Sure.
That being said, it's still a well-made movie, so you could argue that.
And the difference between the Golden Globes and the Oscars is that the Golden Globes tries to give awards to people who played characters that you found a reason to like.
Yeah.
Like the Golden Globes is going to give a Globe tonight to Barbie. You know what I mean? Like it's
right.
Whereas the Oscars, man, Saltburn might be a shoe-in.
Yeah, it's very Oscar baity. Although I'd say in the Globes case, you give it to people like Walter White's or Bryan Cranston. And that's a character you're not supposed to root for. You kind of do, but you're not supposed to, right? Mm-hmm. But in this case, if they gave this to the Kogan character, his acting's insane. He's really good, but my gosh, you hate him. You hate him so bad. Oh.
Yeah, and I guess nothing else, the greatest thing we're gonna see tonight at the Golden Globes is the correct way to pronounce that kid's last name.
I know, right? Because I have no idea. I really don't.
I don't either.
It's so hard to get my head around, but I've seen a lot of him this year because I finally watched 1917. He's in a whole chunk of that.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, that's such a good movie. Yeah. Boy, that's a great one for your big ass 4K TV. That's the way to see it.
Yeah, it's on our list. I love that movie.
We've got a bunch of horse races at the Golden Globes tonight. A bunch of like, will this person or this person win the thing? Like Kieran Culkin or Pedro Pascal for TV drama, right?
Right.
Will Jeremy Allen White win or Bill Hader, right? Like, it's like there's all these really close little races, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's the thing. Like, even though they all hate the producers of the thing, that it's always more fun than the Oscars. The Oscars is all super serious.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can see that.
It's one where everybody's drinking, sitting at tables. That's two things I look for there are, what movies should I potentially check out for Oscars? And who is sitting at the same table drinking together? Like what clusters of weird celebrity matchups? I know we'll put all the people from this movie and all the people from this TV show together, but who's drinking with whom?
Well, here's what'll be fun. This is the funnest game of tonight, given the time we're in. A bunch of these people that will be at this event are on this Epstein list. Doesn't mean they're pedophiles. Doesn't mean they went to the island and had sex with underage people. Doesn't mean any of that. Sure. It just means they're on the list, which could mean is simply, I was friends with a billionaire that no one told me about this. I didn't know. All the way to, some of you guys really were part of this pedophile ring. So tonight, who's hosting? Do we know?
Joe Coy.
Okay, Joe Coy. Do you think that gets brought up at all? There's any kind of joke? Because I know Gervais will do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yes, Joe Coy is the Filipino Howie Mandel, and he will not let this opportunity pass him by.
Okay, I was just curious.
I didn't know we needed more Howie Mandels in other countries, but right.
Yeah, because
I also afraid to touch anything because of germs.
Probably. I don't know. I'm just making fun of how he looks.
Yeah,
for some reason.
But if he might. So we'll see. I guess Gervais definitely would. Mm-hmm. But I don't think what's their names? The two, I can't think of the SNL ladies that everyone loves.
Oh, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
Amy Poehler. I don't know if they'd go for a joke like that.
No, they wouldn't. I think,
maybe
they would allude to it. they would basically say something like, "Oh my gosh, it's, here's a list of all the people we're seeing tonight. There's that person, that person. Probably not the only list we'll see them on." That's about it. That's about as much as we'd get.
You could be like that guy that writes all the Oscar
Bruce
jokes.
Valanche?
Yeah,
Sure.
you're the Bruce Valanche of Film Sack. I love
Excellent.
it. You could be center square as well, or whatever he's doing.
Much more closer to Paul Lynde.
All right. Any other thoughts on throwing Mama from the train before we take a turn to the clips here? Anything?
Perusing my notes, I like how we might see this in audio, but Danny DeVito, the way he says "ruined" instead of
ruined.
Yeah, ruined.
I definitely
he does it
Darjeeling.
intentionally,
Yeah.
and they pause afterwards a couple of times. It's kind of good.
Yes.
Love it.
Probably a lot cheaper to get Oprah to cameo in your movie back in the 80s than it would be now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Color Purple.
Yeah.
It's amazing that they picked her because there were a lot of different folks that they could have put on, as the TV host.
You could have
right?
done Donahue. You could have done. Who else was big? Sally Jesse
Donahue.
Raphael.
Oh my
Jesse
God.
Raphael would have been big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was good. I don't remember who else was doing
Just
it.
the fact that Mama doesn't want to eat the nuts; she just wants to shell them like a squirrel.
I wrote down that I was so happy that Larry and Beth end up together at the end.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I don't know why. It just made me so freaking happy because I guess because he spends the whole movie not being worthy of her, really.
Yeah. He can't seem to get past his own shit to see the thing that's in front of him.
Finally, he's able to achieve a boner once he gets his book written.
That's
true.
right. Plus,
That's
she was very. She was back and forth because she was skeptical of him all the time, but then there were moments of like, "Take me, I'm yours."
Right.
And
Right.
I couldn't quite figure out her.
She was perfect for him the way Terry Polo was perfect for Charlie Sheen in the last movie we sacked. Like there's something about this girlfriend who's gonna go for it. She's just down for whatever.
Yeah.
It's just it's a funny thing. It never lets you down. And I was like, oh man, this could have ended with him being the butt monkey in the very last shot.
Right.
Because he's such a butt monkey for so much of this movie.
Yeah.
But no, it let him go. It let him have success.
When he gets mad and yells slut over and over.
Slut. Some slut shaming.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Yeah.
In fact, I want to ask if this movie had ended with Owen's book getting published
And it being the same book as Larry's book, right?
And Larry not getting to publish his. So he's the butt monkey to the end.
Yeah.
Would it have been just as good?
No. I needed this heartfelt thing. I needed that friendship to be real.
Needed a happy ending.
Yeah. Happy ending.
Willing to pay extra for it too.
Oh, that's right. But I forgot about that. But the movie itself doesn't. That's too formulaic for me. And it's funny because you might say that in any other film you apply that ending to it, and this is too formulaic, right? It's too happy of an ending. But I don't know. It brought balance to the Force in this movie. I needed it. I think. I don't know. I'd have to rewind my brain and not have seen it and then see it in a different way to tell you. But I like how it went. I think this was good. Yeah. And I think Danny DeVito should be still directing. What's he doing? Why is he not? You should direct more. Maybe he isn't. I just don't know
any
it.
episodes of Sunny, of It's Always Sunny.
Right. Maybe he has. Maybe he
probably did.
Maybe he directed Rhea Perlman to leave him or whatever. No, they're back together now, right? I think
they're back together. Yeah.
I don't want them ever to be apart. Come on.
I know it.
You were made for each other.
It feels like the perfect coupling.
Yeah. Name a better coupling. I can't. Oh, you know what? I'll give it to Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst.
Oh, yeah.
They can have it.
Well, it's just because they had such good chemistry in Fargo.
That's true. But that's where they met, and now they got the cutest little redheaded little kids.
Aww.
I love that couple. They're amazing.
I'm just for some reason really stoked on Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively.
Yeah, I like them.
They seem to be doing okay.
Yeah. It seems like
they are the king and queen of the prom, man.
Hubba. Real quick here, I'm looking at his director. He directed 24 things. Let's take a look at those. Upcoming, he's got something called Saint Sebastian, which is completed and coming out soon. So I take it all back. He hasn't directed since 2016 for some short film. Movie-wise, prior to that, these are all shorts. Hold on. Duplex. Anyone remember 2003's Duplex, directed by Danny DeVito?
I don't remember that.
Did not do well. Ben Stiller, Drew Barrymore.
Wow, interesting.
That's it. That's all I can say there.
That's it. That's all of them.
Mark Duplass should have been in there.
Yeah, Mark Duplass. Maya Rudolph, Susie Kurtz is a good list. Wallace Shawn. I wonder what happened here. It did not review well. Anyway, that looks like Throw Mama from the Duplex, honestly. There's an old lady in it who's on the cover looking all pissed. All right, let's move to these clips if everyone is interested. I am. I know I am.
Sure. I'm interested. Bring it.
Okay, here you go. Let's start with me finding where my damn soundboard went. Here it is. How about this one? Some soda. This is Mama.
Get me a soda with some ice in it.
All right. You're going to hear a lot of her today, so enjoy that. Here we go. Owen loves his mama.
Owen loves his mama.
Owen loves his mama.
I almost wonder if she's his biological mother. Like, it kind of, there's times when I'm like, maybe she's a stepmother?
I think she's a DeVito. Oh, you mean in the Owen's actual stepmother, you mean? The character.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant in real life. I'm like, I don't think
adopted,
so.
yeah.
Here's Mama screaming. That was her screaming in 3D. You can hear the sound going around.
That was his fantasy of her dying, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, she didn't actually die.
Well, off screen.
This is one of the most amazing quotes. I'm shocked this isn't what we say more than Owen doesn't have a friend, but here it is.
You clumsy poop.
You clumsy poop.
You clumsy poop. You clumsy poop.
Oh, there's so much spittle coming off of that too.
She said some of the trivia said that she was very ill and was going through chemo and surgeries and all this stuff for her during the filming of it, but she still it would cause her pain to yell like this.
Oh my gosh.
DeVito was like, you can simmer it down or whatever. She refused. She's like, this is what the character needs, is what I'm doing.
She apparently really did the stunt on the train, like being held upside down by Billy Crystal with a harness. Yeah.
Wow. Let's see.
Trooper.
Who won the year that she was nominated? So it was 88.
Oh, that's a good question.
The 88 awards.
Right here.
Yeah. Who won that? I'm just curious who would beat that out, because it's pretty damn great.
I might find it faster than Randy.
I can't find it. You're faster than
It's a contest.
It's a contest. Throw your money on the table. Let's go.
So that was Olympia Dukakis for Moonstruck.
Damn it. That was a good performance. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's a hard one to be up against.
And Ann Archer was also in that list for Fatal Attraction. Interesting little category that year.
Yeah, the jilted wife. Or no?
That's right.
Yeah, that was the year of so many of these big, like serious movies. Last Emperor, Empire of the Sun, The Untouchables. That was the Untouchables year.
Oh man, 88 was good. Well, I guess 87 was the film year, but 88's awards year was awesome. Good year. All right, let's move on to this one. Another good one.
Come on, move it, lard ass.
It's a good one. She's really mean. She's not a very nice mom at all.
This is what makes it so great.
They have to make it so you have to believe that Billy Crystal changes his mind about killing her.
Right.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Seriously considers it. Yeah.
Well, a part of it is also that he's kind of being held hostage. Like, Owen isn't going to let him out of this, you know?
Right.
And Billy Crystal genuinely feels like, if I don't do something here, Owen might kill me, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the great moment where Owen is toying with him with the police in his kitchen saying, could you go in the pantry and get me some more tea, to the police officers, knowing that they'll find Billy Crystal in there. And then, oh no, I've got some right here. Like that, a cat playing with a mouse kind of thing before he finally kills it.
That was, by the way, that was my worst scene in the movie, because it just
didn't like it, really.
Don't do that to cops. Cops aren't going to put up with that nonsense. They're gonna just. You've invited them in. They're just going to go throw that curtain back and find out what the hell you're hiding back there.
Toying with cops is there's a certain kind of tension that provides, and the movie kind of just pretends that doesn't exist, and that was a little off. But yeah, don't do that. Okay, you no talent little shit.
I think you're no talent little shit.
Okay, all right. Here's your ruined. I love this one.
I was afraid it would be ruined.
That's like he was talking about a piece of armor he found in Diablo. I was afraid it would be ruined.
Ruined. Yes.
Here's Mama.
I got a wax ball in my ear. Get it out.
I got a
wax ball in my ear.
Wax
ball.
Wax ball
in my ear.
Wishbone.
I think that. Wait a minute. Now
Listen to it again and think the word wishbone.
Okay, here we go.
I got a wax ball in my ear. Get it out.
I hear rice bowl, but whatever.
Well, it doesn't matter what you hear. That's what you. We're doing Green Needle. That's what this is.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Never get to first base, says Mama.
You'll never get to first base.
All right.
That was in the middle of her saying, "You're gonna be nothing. You're gonna be nothing."
Yep.
Like, wow. Yeah. Mama wants him to get a girlfriend.
I want to buy a computer pack that makes this sound when I click the keyboard. Okay, this is the sound I want.
Type.
I want that every
How is
key.
he doing that?
Just yelling type.
Made me laugh.
Yeah. This is such a. I'm watching this movie with a ghost Dunaway next to me, and I'm not kidding about this.
Right. Yeah.
Because I know how much you love it. How much? I mean, the first weekend I met you, I think you yelled, "Owen doesn't have a friend." And
probably.
So it's been this constant thread. But there's so much of the humor in this that I associate with your brand of humor.
Yeah.
And I think
Love it.
part of the reason
Right.
I enjoyed it so much was that it was like a weird little proxy watch.
Right after the type, she says, "You sit there typing all day like a fat little pigeon," and that just really stuck with me because I was like, "There's no way that line was written before DeVito was cast as the lead here."
Yeah,
like
right.
fat little pigeon,
Yeah.
and like he's a penguin. I don't know. It's just fascinating, that little line right there.
Yeah. This isn't that far from that, I guess. A couple of years is all.
Yeah. Just
4 years. I think it was his next
road.
thing. Yeah. Why? Oh, all right. So I got an old tape from your mom, Ibbett, and she sent this in and said, "Hey, can you suss this out and fix it?" So I took it and restored the audio. Basically, this is what it is. You said
I like to take my dates to children's trains on playgrounds right before prom.
the line here is why Ibbett's date said she can't go to the dance with you. Okay, so you got turned down, and this is how she said it.
I have an enormous headache in my eye.
Okay. Wow, she really,
That's how this is my very subtle way of getting out of things.
Yeah, I have a very small headache in my eye.
I like Billy Crystal. I'm sure of it, but I just felt like there was too much. It was like Billy Crystal, like condensed,
neurotic, like over neurotic kind of thing.
Yeah,
a little bit. I mean, I went on. So here's the good news. I'll just break it now. After 30 plus years of waiting, they finally got the music rights worked out, and Northern Exposure is now streaming on Prime.
Oh, excellent!
And I love Northern Exposure. One of my favorite
shows. Is it still a
of all
good
time.
show? I haven't seen it.
Yes,
forever.
it holds up. I watched 6 episodes last night. I'm very happy to report that A, the music is back, and B, it's still wonderful. Anyway, what was my point? Oh, it was weird watching this movie and seeing Billy Crystal be very menschy,
Yeah.
and then going right to a thing where Rob Morrow is the most menschy character in the history of TV. At least for the first 3 episodes, he kind of mellows out after a while, but he's very, very that kind of character. So I kind of had this problem last night while I was writing notes going, wait a minute, was that Rob Morrow or was that freaking Billy Crystal that did that? Was he because I just mixed those characters up. And if you go watch it, you'll see what I mean. But anyway, Happy Days, everybody. Not Happy Days.
Days here again.
Forget about Happy Days.
Cool.
That show rocks. Is still on. It's very funny. I think all quirky town shows. Schitt's Creek and freaking
Erie, right?
Yeah, that. But even like Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec is a good example. Even stuff like Gilmore Girls. If you want a town full of quirky personalities, they all owe money to Northern Exposure. It's so good.
Cool.
Anyway, moving on. How about Rob Reiner showing up?
Arnie, what are you doing? You're bending the fern. Don't bend the fern. Fluff it. Fluff it.
Fluff it, baby. Fluff it. He does that in everything he ever shows up in. That's
and Billy Crystal versus Rob Reiner, is like good for one scene. We only needed one scene of that.
One is enough.
Yes.
Good.
He did say my new 2024 attitude. Here it is.
That's the way the mop flops.
I'm going to say that from now on.
Yeah, the mop flops.
That's the way the mop flops. Baby. So my wife's going to say, oh, the toilet's plugged again. Well, that's the way the mop flops. And then I'll walk away and do nothing. All right, here's the full and complete Owen doesn't have a friend. We never hear the whole exchange. Today we hear that.
Who the hell are you?
I'm Owen's friend.
Owen doesn't have a friend.
That's because he's shy.
No, he's not. He's fat and he's stupid.
I love that. Oh my God.
See, and I can almost hear you laughing next to me, for real.
Yes. And when Danny DeVito returns from bowling and dreaming of bowling down his mama, and she's so pissed that she left a corpse to watch her. That line kills me too.
Yep.
It's just so subtle.
Some great. There's a. What do we call this? This probably has a name. Randy probably has it up on tropes, film tropes or something, or TV tropes.
Or TV tropes, yeah.
But there's this thing in the late 80s. They did this a lot where she's lined up as 10 pins and it's her face.
Yeah.
Or it's Steve Martin and John Candy in the car. And
sees the devil when looks
they're
over
going the wrong way or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
The other one.
By the way, that scene is Roll Mama Down the Lane, by the way.
Roll Mama Down the Lane.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shoot, that's a better alternate title than either of the ones I made. Yes, go ahead, Randy.
The basic trope is called fantasy sequence, and so there's like a bunch of sub tropes for fantasy sequence.
Right.
Like this one is kind of like the you put a face on it, want to murder you fantasy trope, and there's some good examples.
In cartoons like Tom and Jerry, it would be like Jerry's so hungry he looks at Tom, and Tom looks like a big stick
looks
of
like a turkey. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that.
Yeah, and people also have brought that into movies. And this one, I don't know why, but I was really annoyed by that scene, and I can't explain it. I don't know why. Owen goes bowling, it's funny. I just can't. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's really annoying to me, that scene.
I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. When it happens, I don't like dream sequences. Not a fan in movies mostly. Although sometimes stuff gets pulled off. I'll tell you, this latest season of Fargo has a dream sequence episode that rocked. It was so well done, and still has me thinking about it. But you watched, right? You saw it.
I did. I'm trying to remember this.
You saw it.
It was. I don't know why it didn't make enough of an impression that I'm thinking about it still.
I'll give you a hint so that I don't give anything away. It actually be hard to spoil. But there's a whole episode where she goes to that camp and has to make something.
Oh yes, right.
That whole thing was handled so well.
Right. Yes.
And so was important to the point of it all that I feel like they should be held up as an example of how to do that, because most of the time I hate that shit. Because it's like, this whole episode was not real? Like, come on.
Right. It's a really easy way. It's a cheap way to get character movement.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and they really
when there are no stakes.
This season's so good.
It's really good.
Here's a great slap and yell.
Your friend had an accident. He's dead.
Wow. She follows up with the corpse statement, and the whole if you're not paying attention, you'll just totally miss the humor in it, but it is just brilliant.
You do have to pay attention.
Walks off.
Another amazing moment here.
Holy shit! What a dream I was having! Louis Armstrong was trying to kill me!
Trying to kill me!
After you think she's dead because he blew the horn in her ear just for
Yeah. It was really
she's not
good.
dead.
Here's what? Oh, I don't know. Horse's ass.
Get away from me, you horse's ass!
Wow.
Even their crazy physicalness works in audio, funny enough.
You can use that clip again when you kick someone off the line when he's got a collar on the show.
Yeah,
it's great.
Get off the air, you horse's ass.
Horse's ass. Your horse's ass.
It's not bad.
Get away from me, you horse's ass!
It's pretty good. Get me a. I don't know. I remember.
Get me a chunky.
Give me a chunky.
Get me a chunky.
Yes, love that. I was trying to work that into my opening song, but need anything?
Yeah.
Get me a chunky.
Give me a chunky.
Give me a chunky.
What is a chunky? Is that a real?
It's a little. Yeah, it's a little square. Thick chocolate that's usually got raisins and nuts in it. That's very good.
Do they always have raisins and nuts in it?
No, they made the base chunky was raisins and nuts. They made alternative flavors.
So it's not a chunky.
When I got the chunky, it was the raisins and the nuts. Yeah, always shocked me. Wow, what is that?
So it's not chunky monkey. That's a different thing.
No,
that's ice
totally.
Cream.
Yeah,
okay. No, that's chubby hubby.
But it's like a little. It's a little square.
Yeah, it's not a little square. Those things are big.
Well, they are big. Yeah.
It's more. It's dense, like a big,
small.
thick, dense thing, right? Oh, here it is. Nestle Chunky's candy bar with milk chocolate, raisins, and roasted peanuts used in section and truncated pyramid shapes. This started with the Ferranda Candy Company and is now a division of Nestle.
Ferrara.
Good.
Ferrara? Okay.
Ferrara. They had pecan chunky. They had dark chunky. Dark chocolate,
chunky.
peanuts and raisins. Deluxe nut chunky, which had almonds, cashews, and hazelnuts along with the peanuts. Then just plain solid milk chocolate chunky. You can pretty much figure out what that was. And then miniature chunkies.
Or cuties.
That doesn't count.
Cuties. Yeah.
So
Miniature
those all
chunkies.
sounded like rapper names. I really like them.
Miniature chunky.
Yeah.
Little chunky.
Yo, I'm little chunky.
Yeah.
Little chunky.
I'm the OG Chunky. Pecan Chunky, get up here on stage.
And one of them was my rapper name, Deluxe Nut.
Oh yeah, Deluxe Nut. You
Deluxe
take the mic.
I
You'll
don't
take
like
the
that.
mic from Dark Chunky and end the show. Yeah.
I don't like that.
You do like it. You love it.
Deluxe nut.
Deluxe Nut.
Deluxe nut.
Well, we're
Deluxe
stuck
nut
with it.
punch.
3 more files. This one's a choking Janeway. Not sure that's how it would sound, but that was a dream sequence, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Here's a weird laugh at the end when he figured out his story. It annoyed me. That was my most annoying sound in the movie. Just really annoyed me.
Jesus.
And then finally, they're out at the beach, and he says this.
You ever seen a weeble snorkel?
You ever seen a weeble?
Weeble,
Not weeble.
Snorkel.
Because weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
Yeah.
Well, then he calls Owen a buoy with hair, and he says buoy and not boy.
Rude.
We finally have confirmation. That's it.
right. Well, we have confirmation that Billy Crystal says it like we all say it.
Yeah.
Whether that's right or wrong, it's not the British pronunciation of boy. It's buoy.
No. They've certainly told us that enough in the last few weeks.
Oh gosh, yes.
Let's move on now to this little bit of fun, which we call the checklist. This week's Starfleet. This week's
Love it.
film sack checklist is what I meant to say. Choking a Starfleet captain. Check. That's where I screwed that up. Has Danny DeVito gotten any older? Check. He just seems the same to me.
He really does. Yeah.
In everything. And I know he has. I've seen, Philadelphia.
Louis De Palma in Taxi looked like he was 50 years old, and he's just stayed 50 ever since.
Yeah. And wasn't he like 20-something in that?
Something like that, yeah.
Unbelievable to me. And he's like 5 and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He's just a child in it.
But still looked like, exactly.
Anyway, finally, in number 3, they should have given Ramsey the Oscar she was nominated for. Check.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dukakis. Maybe make him fight for it. I don't know. My money's on Mama.
Old lady fight.
Yeah. Star Trek Connections. Well, we know one because we've been talking about it.
For sure. Well, let's just hit on. We got Peter Bracco, who played Old Man.
Okay.
That was a old man in the hospital, I think.
All right.
Right. He wants to leave. Yeah.
That was a funny bit for him. I like that.
He was in an episode of the original series. Ray Burke, who his cast name was Pinsky. That's the older student, the older writing student, Ray Burke. He was in 2 things. He was in an episode of The Next Generation called Haven as Ren, and he was in Star Trek Insurrection. Probably his biggest appearance in Star Trek. He was the Sona doctor, the one who was stretching F. Murray Abraham's face throughout the movie.
Oh, funny.
Yeah,
so at no point did he go, Chapter 1, Beverly Crusher. Chapter 2, Deanna Troy.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
No, but the interesting thing here is that Ray Burke, in this movie, at least in Throw Mama from the Train, he kind of looks like F. Murray Abraham to me.
He does.
Yeah.
It's it's the turtleneck. For whatever reason, you put a turtleneck on a guy and he looks like
F. Murray Abraham.
Yeah. I agree. We should. But of course, our biggest connection is Kate Mulgrew, who was Margaret in this movie. She actually gets 3 different series credits in Star Trek. She appeared in Prodigy as well as Nemesis. She was Admiral Janeway.
She made it back
Nemesis.
home by the time Nemesis happened. So Picard called her, I believe, early in that movie, and they had a whole scene. She's I love how canonical they've made Janeway in post Voyager. It's actually kind of great.
Yes.
Right. That animated show, which she's in, I think. She voices.
I'd like to believe a part of it is Kate Mulgrew pushing, like saying, I think this character should, continue to appear.
Yeah. I think she's awesome. So
a little Star Trek bonus. Our Anne Ramsey was married to Logan Ramsey. He was, according to Gary and Danny, they sent me this on Messenger. He was recently. He wasn't that long ago. Once at some of these fan things, he's great apparently, but he was a Vulcan. Logan Ramsey.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
And then those two, they had a baby. His name is Gordon Ramsay, and he has
Gordon Ramsay. That's the lie.
That's why he's
famously played a donkey.
That's right. But that's why he's so pretty.
That guy, if you see that guy's face, you'll recognize his face. He's been freaking in everything.
Oh, really? Well, that's cool.
The
Ramsey name continues. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she had a grandson who was a famous singer named Ramsey Bolton, Michael Bolton. I don't know.
Ramsey Bolton. There you go.
It's in there somewhere.
Yeah, shakes a hot dog at.
We were talking about great TV villains. There's one.
Oh man, Ramsey. If these was still current, I'd put him there. But right now, Fargo's John Hamm, dude. Oh. Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to the social media soundtrack grade. Sorry, I almost forgot. P for perfect for what this is. I thought this stuff matched up great. I have no complaints about the music. It enhanced my experience.
And we're talking about David Newman, sort of an also-ran composer for a very long time. But it is the 6th time we've sacked a David Newman scored film. He did the music for Heathers and Jingle All the Way and the Flintstones and Viva Rock Vegas.
It's always fun.
He did The Phantom. We sacked The Phantom.
Mm-hmm. Had a fresh fight with some Discorders about how bad I think Jingle All the Way is, and there's some defenders in our community.
A fresh fight.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help bringing it up just because I had re-listened to that episode.
Yeah, that movie's bad.
We were so contentious.
It was a very contentious episode. That movie, I'll go to my grave knowing that it's a bad film. And
I still love it.
I know you do. Look, you and I. We agree on so many things in life.
Oh, yeah.
But when it comes to Minority Report or Jingle All the Way.
How boring would it be if we always agreed on everything?
Exactly.
Yeah, nobody wants that. Yeah.
No.
Nobody wants Nandor's wife.
No.
No.
Nandor's, all of the different people that lined up for Nandor in that scene. That's an amazing scene. I love that whole thing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Where are we now? Alternate titles. Nope. Social media post. I don't know why I'm skipping ahead like an idiot. This is 280 characters on some social media site that we don't name anymore. And it's from the three of you. So let's start with Randy.
Throw Mama from the Train. Here is an old penny. I got it from my dad. And with it goes a nickel. I think it's kind of rad. Right here's another nickel that came from some change I got. And then this other nickel was from a thing we bought. Now, this right here is a quarter. You now might think me dumb, but I'm offering you 41 cents to go and kill my mom. I think it's a good deal.
Mom.
That's great. I love that.
That was very good. Make sure you put that in the Discord so I can put
Feels
it
like
up
a
for
Hallmark card insert.
That's right. Another reason, by the way, to support the show on our Patreon is we put both Brian Ibbott's song lyrics to his song he sang today, and we put in there Randy's poems. So
that's right.
Why
and
are
we're
you
working on getting audio together for all of the opening songs I did in 2023, or at least a lot of them that were put on that. Now that's what I call Film Sack album, along with the album art and liner notes and all that.
Yep. Shout out to Taz. That thing's amazing.
Excited.
So
cool. Incredible job. Yeah.
You should see the stuff he made for me and Dunaway for Play Retro. It is mind blowing.
Really? Oh, cool.
He's so talented.
Talented creator.
Talented bastard. Oh my gosh. We have stickers of every game console ever made, but their logos of those game consoles reworked to have our show in it.
Beautiful.
That's
and
cool.
the first 100 episodes, he did box art for all the games. Looks so good.
He's a freak, and I love him. Let's get to alternate titles. Yes, that's right. Let's get to. It's a joke because I've been doing this all show. Let's throw it over to Brian. Wait, Dunaway hasn't gone yet, though, has he?
He hasn't done his yet either.
Yeah, Dunaway, go.
Nope. Throw Mama from the Train. The movie was. That's it.
I don't get it.
The night was.
Oh,
That was great. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
I wish you hadn't had to explain it because
Yeah,
it was great.
apologies for the length of the pregnant pause, but that was actually brilliant.
Yes.
Nicely done.
A movie where ChatGPT would have solved the movie in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, you make me want to try an experiment. I might later. I want to see what it comes up with. Anyway,
So
hey
it comes
Brian.
up with the word, yeah.
Hey Brian Ebbett, let's go to you before I forget that we moved on already.
Throw Mama from the Train. Chapter 1, Phoebe Cates. Chapter 2, Demi Moore. Chapter 3, Michelle Pfeiffer. Oh, sorry. In honor of this movie being about a mama, I'm writing a book about actresses who had children around the time this movie was released.
You made it wholesome.
You did.
You made it porky, and then you made it wholesome.
I made it porky. By the way, clearly edited. He did not say the word pork when you look at that.
Oh, really?
Now I want to go back.
That was clearly okay, we need to change this for the R rating.
That was like Sigourney Weaver in
it would have been so much funnier with the F-bomb.
For sure.
Was it Space Quest? What's
Space Quest?
Is it
That's
Space
probably
Quest?
right.
It's not Space
Space
Quest.
Quest? Space
No.
Quest? Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest.
Space Quest DSV is what you're trying to think of.
No, in Galaxy Quest, when she yells F no, and you can tell she yelled that, but then they added heck or something. I love when they do that. All right.
So good.
Now I can actually move to this real thing. Alternate title. Owen does, in fact, have a friend. That was almost the title.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Because he has a friend.
I like that.
Yeah, he's just got a good friend by the end. And finally, it was almost called This Is Not How Books Work. Because really, none of that authorship stuff, none of that works that way. Good luck to you.
I don't know what it is about, but this movie ending with Danny DeVito and Billy Crystal being friends really leaves out Branford Marsalis. I feel like Branford Marsalis has spent the entire movie trying so hard to be Larry's friend.
I didn't know that was Branford Marsalis till you just said it.
Bigger chick in the bucket, I think. Yeah, good point.
Oh, yeah, he didn't. Yeah, we got no resolution on him.
Yeah, he should have been on the beach with them as well.
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh, I'm annoyed now. I didn't even think about this, but now I'm annoyed. All right, well, well done.
On the beach with the saxophone. That would have been funny.
That would have been great. Yeah.
Let's get to emails. I got a couple of them here, and I'm going to rip through them because, well, actually I have 3, so I'm going to rip through all 3 of these. They're short, though. Filmsack@gmail.com is where you send them. Com is what I meant to say. I got a anonymous one that just says, Drowning Mona. How can you beat Danny DeVito, Bette Midler, Jamie Lee Curtis, and a host of other names, plus a ton of Yugos? And there's no name on this. I don't know what any of that is. Oh, Yugos.
Yugos, like the car, the old that
must be it.
Yugoslavian automobile.
It must be. The way he spelled it looked like Yugos, but no, it's Yugos. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that. Is that good? Drowning Mona?
I remember the name. I think I might have even seen it, but couldn't tell you anything more about it. But I think it is a similar, like, get rid of off a wife or something.
That's another one of these, hey? Let's see.
Bette Midler's horrible, get rid of her kind of thing.
Yeah. Dark comedy.
Here we go. Oh, it's 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And William Fichtner's in it. Well, then sign me up.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell, Casey Affleck. What is this cast?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Bunch of people. Oh my gosh, a bunch of people you know from a million things that you wouldn't know their names, like Paul Schultz. You know him, you just don't know his name. Paul Ben Victor. We know him, but you'd have to see him to know it. Nev Campbell, Casey Affleck. What is this about?
Wow.
And it's got a 5.7 out of 10. Sounds like it's bad. Maybe perfect for us. Let's give that a shot.
Perfect. Thank you.
This is a quick one from Ryan who says, hey, Sackers, just listened to the Mystery Men episode and hearing you all want more relationship building than cheap gags, it made me think of The Specials. It's a superhero movie that isn't a superhero movie. It's more about the dynamics of the group than their powers. Great cast, but fairly unknown. I'd love to hear your take on it. Thanks. I've never heard of The Specials, Ryan. Have you guys heard of it?
I'm looking up now. I do not recognize this. Interesting.
2019
Weird
or the
comedy
2000?
film.
2000, right?
No, yeah, 2000 for sure.
James
yeah.
Gunn?
Rob Lowe.
Oh, James Gunn wrote this?
Let's see. Written by James Gunn.
It was directed by Craig Mazin. I'm in.
Oh, dude. Are you kidding? Craig Mazin directed, James Gunn written, Thomas Hayden Church, Paget Brewster, Rob Lowe. Why aren't we? We need to watch this.
What a cast.
Let's do this. Sean Gunn, of course, is in it.
And his look at that. It's almost like a Star Trek shirt, but I guess it's a superhero shirt.
Yeah.
It's got Judy Greer hiding down in this list.
Yep, Judy Greer.
Of
Kelly
course, Sean Gunn
Cofield
has
Park.
to be in here as well, of course.
Yeah.
It's too bad this movie has never once been streaming, but I'm gonna track it. We'll get it.
Let's give it a shot. This looks real dumb. I'm in.
Hooked us up with DVDs. I'm sure those are available.
Yeah.
Are you? I'm not so sure.
I'd bet.
This
is a rare movie.
You can rent it on Amazon.
Was it straight to video? Maybe.
2000
was a good time for doing that kind of thing.
Trying to find let's see, America's 7th best superhero team, the Specials, group of geeks and oddballs, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't say. I'm trying to find like don't you normally have box office right away? Where is that? Production, box office, and more.
If you like,
it's $20 on Amazon to get the DVD, but there are only 3 available, so I won't do it.
Yeah,
this led me to another movie that I'm putting on our watch list, which is called Super from 2010, which stars Rainn Wilson as a wannabe superhero and was directed by James Gunn.
And that's supposed to be kind of dark, right? Like,
yeah, I don't care. We're gonna sack this thing.
Oh yeah, look at this: Liv Tyler, Elliot Page, Greg Henry. I love him.
It's just weird. What a strange time. There were all these people who would become pretty prominent in Hollywood later, making just crummy little movies.
Well, look at all the MCU here. Of course, Sean Gunn and James Gunn all over this thing. But you also got Linda Cardellini, Nathan Fillion. They would both go on to... Oh, no. I'm thinking of... Nathan Fillion was in Suicide Squad. Never mind. Greg... let's see. Liv Tyler. Is she in the MCU? Can't remember. Maybe. Kevin Bacon is.
I can't think of her in the MCU. Kevin Bacon was in one of the X-Men movies, the Fox X-Men movies.
He was also in that.
Shaw.
He was in that Christmas Guardian special.
Oh, right, of course, where he was actually Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, he played himself. Then
so Kevin Bacon is literally in the MCU.
Yeah, Michael Rooker, he's in there.
Yep.
Yondu.
We could pretty much sack any movie that Greg Henry was ever in.
Yeah,
he only chooses weird and fun.
Yeah, he's your dude. He's our guy, Randy, from Payback. He's our bad guy.
Yeah, I know.
Love him in Payback. Oh, we gotta watch Payback. What do we?
We will. It's coming up in a little while.
Anyway, thank you for that. One final one here from Ryan. Another Ryan. It says, "Hey, Sack Squad, have you seen Godzilla -0 yet? You must see this film. See it now before it leaves theaters. You owe it to yourself and the Film Sack community. The film is not only the best Godzilla movie in years, but is one of the best movies of last year, period. And they did it for only $15 million. That actually got debunked, the 15 million number. But,
oh, really?
Yeah, I could find that link, but it's all right. Everybody heard it and took it as truth.
Sure.
Anyway, 1/10 of the cost of a Hollywood equivalent, yet 10 times better. Please, please, please check it out. Cheers, Ryan. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this. John Jagger told me it's the best movie he's seen in 2023. Like,
that's what I've heard as well. Yeah.
How
I can't get Tina to go. She's like,
only at the
great, let's
dollar
go
movies
to.
now.
Oh, is it? So it's not even an Alamo Draft House.
Not well. I don't know about where you live, but it's only at dollar movies where I'm.
It's got to be coming home soon, right? Got to be.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Because the money's on the table. Let's go get this home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see it. I've heard nothing but amazing things. I did watch Shin Godzilla from 2016, which was regarded pretty well. It was a little too weird for me. The take on just the different take on it. I don't know. I didn't love it, but
I've been enjoying the Apple TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Monarch.
Series. What's the
Legacy of Monsters?
Legacy of Monsters.
Monarch.
Yeah. So that's got like Kurt Russell.
I've been holding on to it for a recommendal until the final episode comes out, which is this Friday. But I've been enjoying it, and it's Kurt Russell, like you say, and his son Wyatt. And
I love Wyatt. I didn't know I would love him so much.
Yeah, Wyatt Russell's awesome. The fact that they're working together in a thing is cool. You
need to if you have not watched Lodge 49, I think it's where I just said, all right, Wyatt Russell is a gem on his own without being Kurt and Goldie's son. He's just fantastic.
Yeah. That chin.
Chin.
That chin is his dad. You could cover the rest of his head and go, Kurt Russell has a time machine.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Just like his dad. Anyway.
To start a reverse course here, it looks like we're getting a wide release of the black and white version of Godzilla -1 in a few weeks.
Ooh, that's cool. I didn't know they were doing that. It's like Black and Chrome Fury Road a little bit there. I like it. All right, let's get to... Oh, we did have one text, 801-471-0462, from Alex, who says, for Film Sack, for Throw Mama from the Train, my Max subtitles, HBO Max subtitles, are cleaning up the language. I got holy poop after she nutted Billy C. with her cane. I just want to repeat this phrase. I got a holy poop after she nutted Billy C. with her cane.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm not taking that verb.
Nutted.
We need to say it differently.
Yeah,
somehow.
it has a different meaning, doesn't it? That's true.
I do like nutted. Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Yeah, but I like it. I still like it. Yeah, I didn't do subtitles, so I don't know how this went, but maybe they did. They cleaned up subtitles for Throw Mama from the Train. If you'd like to send those in, again, 801-471-0462. That can also come in the form of a phone call and a voicemail. That'd be fine. Also, filmsack@gmail.com. I would like to also tell people that joining our Patreon is a cool thing to do. It's a brand new year and a chance to get art in the mail, bonus host content every month, all kinds of cool stuff. I totally forgot who's up next after Ibbott.
Me, I'm next.
Okay.
You'll either get it this Saturday or... Yeah, this Saturday, probably.
You got some time, yeah. He's going to do something.
I can do it in the middle of the month where I'm not as busy.
Sure.
I already plotted mine out for February. I'm really excited about this topic that has just captured my imagination.
Nice. I'd love it. That's the kind of stuff you get with, and you can't get it any other way. And it's the only people that ever get it. Plus, you get all the old stuff. Excuse me. It's all up there at patreon.com.
Scott, you okay?
Patreon.com/filmsack is where you're going to want to go for all of that. You also get no commercials. Oh, man, it's just such a treat. Just get this.
It is. Even when I go back and listen sometimes, I'm like, oh, how did my audio sound? I'll go back and listen. I'm like, I definitely head to the Patreon and listen to it.
That's the place. Yeah, because you want to hear the whole thing.
You want to hear it all.
So much fun.
Yeah, and I love I don't know. I love going back and hearing our old episodes. They're a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So go check it out. All available now. Patreon.com/filmsack. Our next movie will be The Replacements.
Oh, no, incorrect.
Oh, it says that in the spreadsheet, or it did yesterday. What does it say?
That is, it's not streaming.
Never mind. What is
us.
it?
That's ironic.
Right. We're going to sack Desperado.
Oh, shit!
Oh, because we're desperate.
You guys don't even know how big a deal that movie was for me in the day. I love that movie so much.
I don't even have any idea. I have no idea what song I'm going to use for the intro.
You really need to come to your senses.
Yeah, you need to.
Easy
Dude,
out.
One of the best, one of my favorite 90s things ever. I'm so excited. I love this.
We're talking
movie.
about Robert Rodriguez, directed for Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
He's got a character named Buscemi in there. Wonder who plays that.
Yep. Cheech Marin is amazing in this. Quentin Tarantino plays a small role. They have a hidden secret room behind a dirty poo toilet. It's amazing. Danny Trejo plays Navajas in this, and he is one of the most amazing characters. You guys, I'm shitting myself. I'm so excited. I love this movie.
Yep.
Love it. We are going to eat this up. That's next week.
Can't wait.
Forget about The Replacements. Now talk about Desperado.
Yep. And this is a different movie than From Dusk Till Dawn. Just making sure everybody knows. Yeah. Different movie.
Very
we
different
sacked
movie.
that one. We have not sacked this one yet.
That one would come about 2 years later after this. And also the third one of this series is terrible. Do not watch it.
El Mariachi?
Yeah,
is that it?
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
No, El Mariachi's the first one. That's a good movie.
Oh, okay.
First one was kind of more student film. Well, that was his big breakout for Rodriguez. But then this one was like a full-blown Hollywood sequel. And then the third one...
You're talking about Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Yes, with Johnny Depp was in it. It's terrible. Shoot yourselves now. It's bad. All right, that is going to do it for that. Let's get some business out of the way by telling people filmsack.com has links to everything we've talked about today and more. Go find it, sub there, find all the stuff. I put up a YouTube version of the show, although it's just the album art, but you get to hear us there if that's your preferred way. And everywhere you get your podcasts, it's all there, filmsack.com, and leave us reviews wherever you get your shows. It's very helpful to us. That's going to do it for now. For me, for Brian, and for Randy.
You clumsy poop.
We'll see you next time.
Get more at frogpants.com.
Get me a chunky.
Give me a chunky.